Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
Hey, Rob, what's going on?
How you doing, Chris?
You know what? Today is the 29th.
Gosh.
29th of October? Seriously?
Almost Halloween.
Wasn't it just like January a week ago? It felt like it anyways.
This year has flown, especially since about June on.
Oh, my goodness.
Right? The summer just flew by.
I mean, it was quicker than the speed of light as far as I'm concerned.
It was really fast.
You know, really, really fast. So
and
today,
I think we've been really busy, too. A lot of people switching to solar. I think that's just, when you're busy, it goes quick.
You know, people are out there buying these solar systems. You know, they're not dealing with the right company, but, you know, in most cases, they're getting a good job done. And But at the end of the day, you know, most importantly, we want people to buy consistently, conservatively, and do stuff like that.
And just be well informed.
Right?
That's something that I'm really watching. I'm working with a nice couple right now, and there's as many opinions as there are people bidding.
Well informed.
But you know, the thing is what I try to tell people is every installer or provider is going to have opinions. We don't have any. We base our stuff on fact. We look at industry. We look at what is working, what doesn't work, what gets service calls, what doesn't get service calls. Do you know what I mean?
That's interesting you said that because most people hire salespeople.
Yeah, and you know what's weird about this place?
We don't sell.
We don't have salespeople. And I mean, when you really look at it, it's the very guys that the men and women that sit here and design and understand the industry inside and out, who put the systems together. We're almost, we're just not salespeople. We're educators. We're informers, and if everything turns out right, you're gonna sell yourself because you know it makes sense.
It is what it is.
But when I hear some of my customers talking about, well, this guy says this and this guy says that, and I go, it's all opinions. But what I know is what we put on the roof and we never get a service call on.
You know what I'm going to do one of these days?
I mean? Set it and forget it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do this one of these days. I'm going to have like 5 companies come out and just have a appointment barrage.
Yes.
I'm going to sit there for probably 12 hours and get my soul handed to me in about 12 different ways.
Why don't we do that? Because we just had a test on component and price that we kind of ran.
Yeah.
And which showed big brands using,
massive marketing dollars.
And not only yesterday's technology, something like 6 or 7 or 8 years ago technology.
This stuff is ancient,
priced
man.
out at tier 1, tier A pricing right now. But it would be great to go ahead and let's take a subject property and sit there and get all the biggies to come out and give us a quote and just kind of compile
listen
that
to the stories.
Because the stories I heard even yesterday, and this was a super nice couple, and they get confused. Because everybody has some argument about this or that. And, for the most part, most of these companies stock things. And they're selling you what their ASM or RSM told them to push. And we don't stock a damn thing here. We design for your home or your building.
Yeah.
And we buy what's needed for that. And so we never have this, there's never a motive to just kind of push what you got in the warehouse. Because we don't do that.
290s? Oh, man.
290s at a price of 360s.
REC 290s. I mean, I thought they were like not distributing those anymore or something happened.
Well,
somebody bought somebody or whatever.
I'm not naming brands, but let me tell you, this is a big brand in a big box store that you probably buy either your bulk food or hardware in.
Starts with a C?
No, but the thing is and they get that, what we talked about before, they get an instant credibility because they're in that store.
Yeah.
But knowing what I know, something I've told what I tell customers is this. I don't put anything on your roof I wouldn't put on my own. I treat your home like it's my own, right, as far as how we're going to do the construction. And I treat your wallet like it's my own, right?
Imagine that.
And you don't have salespeople out there doing that. I'm sorry. They're held to quotas. They're pushing the next sale. They've got to get how many sales in a month to keep their job. We don't have any of that here. We sell what's right. And if it's not right, we won't sell it.
Good point, man. If it doesn't feel right to us, we're not going to put it in front of you because we don't want the. We've seen a lot of this aftermath.
Yeah.
Let me give you a case in point.
Well, we've been called to fix systems, and we look
Oh,
at it
my
and go,
goodness.
"Why did anybody do this in the first place?"
Case in point, we have a customer right now that's in Los Angeles. He's got 23 solar panels that are put up on his roof on the most cut-up roof you've ever seen in your entire life.
Oh, is that the one I saw yesterday?
Yeah, that's the one that
my
looks
gosh.
like, Lincoln blocks, Or,
I looked at it and was like, "Why did anybody even do that design?"
well, here's the issue. The inverter hasn't ran for the last 2 years.
Oh my God!
So this guy paid whatever money for this system.
And that one's not running.
It's not running, and now he wants more. First and foremost, he needs more, right?
First and foremost, he
His
needs
house
more.
is like, we're $6 million. It's 6,000 square feet,
He has a
two-story.
very segmented roof too.
Yeah, I mean, we would literally have to put north-faced panels,
Yeah.
that would collect good energy.
It's a low pitch roof though, right?
It's a low pitch roof, so it's going to
May
be like
help a little.
like a summer system.
Right.
It's not going to be, it's not going to be as perfect as it should.
Right.
The great thing is, first we're going to figure out why his inverter's not working.
Yeah, he just has a big bill and he needs to try to offset. What really amazed me is if you just aesthetically look at it, the very first thing.
$2,800 every other month.
Oh my God. Yeah.
How would you like to get a solar system?
LED DVP area?
Yep.
Yeah.
And pay still $2,800 every other month for the last 2 years. Would you be upset?
I don't know the gentleman, and I'm upset
I might be
for him.
I might be hiring somebody to go knock somebody off.
No,
That's
I'm
crazy.
No, that just should never happen. I just remember when I saw the plans around the house, I saw the images from satellite. First thing I looked at is, how did anybody even install in that manner? It looks horrible. It looks like they didn't pay attention to anything. So when I hear that it's not running, I'm not terribly surprised. But it's something I try to communicate to people. We see these problems out in the industry. At some case, we're the fixer.
The simplest
Right?
things that somebody can do. Remember, your disconnects have to be on.
Yeah.
So if you pissed off your gardener, he may have went to your inverter and flipped it to the left, turned it off, and you're thinking your solar system might be busted to where your gardener's just really pissed off at the world.
No,
I've seen that happen.
I've seen it happen, actually. I have. It sounds funny, but I've seen that
Guys
happen.
turning off breakers
Yeah.
in somebody's service. The DC disconnect was opened up,
Right.
and somebody cutting wires. Really
you know
bad.
what this brings me back to? I have a number of sayings that I tell people, and it brings me back to one in particular. Look, I always have customers say, they all squabble about having the money to do it right the first time. But I
Yeah.
can tell you this. You always come up with the money to fix it. And
Right.
it's always going to be more.
More?
Because the
That's
first
right.
thing we have to do with someone like that is we got to look and find out what's not working, why it's not working, was it not set up correctly. So we have to triage and treat the problem before we could even add to take care of what should have been done in the first place. And it's always going to cost you more. So you know what? We're not the least expensive. We're not the most expensive, but we do cost what we know we need to cost to do it right.
Yep.
Do it right the first time. Set it, forget it, and that's it. And this guy now is going to go through 2 years of not getting any benefit from his system, and that breaks our hearts because we go out there and that's terrible.
One of the first things I asked him says, "Have you ever monitored your system?"
Right.
And he goes, "What's that?"
Oh my God, he should be monitoring on his phone. Or the company that did it, if
Seriously?
they had any ethics, they would have been monitoring it
Lord.
to make sure it was
Hey,
working.
but let's get on the other side of this coin. Maybe they did tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they gave him a link to monitor.
True.
Maybe they did all those things.
Right.
And his gardener's just pissed.
Well, the thing comes down to
Kill the gardener. There you go.
No, but the thing does come down to we've got to make sure our customers are. We always say the best decision's an informed one, but you really have to have follow through when you're putting a system on someone's roof. You got to make sure your customers understand monitoring and how to monitor. Right.
That's right.
And checking on it. I mean, we every once in a while we pull up some of our customers on their big screens in the office, and we're just checking to see that they're working. A customer
That's
needs
right.
to do that as well. It's a great app on your phone. Be doing it, but sometimes I don't think there's that whole thing of a lot of people go out there. It's the sale and bail routine.
Yep.
We made the sale. That guy got his commission. He's gone.
Yep.
She's gone.
Yep.
And, we don't do that because we're nerds and geeks for this stuff. So we want to know that it's actually doing what we said it's going to do, and we're checking on it. But we make sure our customers know how to check on it, too.
We get an email for every issue that may occur.
Yes, exactly.
Small hiccup, whatever.
Right, exactly.
We set the thresholds to where, it's
Right.
inverter down.
Right.
System down.
Right.
Stuff like that. But, most importantly, I think every consumer that buys a solar electric system for their home or business, doesn't matter, needs to have monitoring, and they need to be apprised of how it works.
Yeah, I always set the apps up on their phone with them.
Everybody's got a
smartphone,
smartphone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, click the app and see what's up. If this little vertical blue thing is
Right.
not going up,
Right.
or it's not even there, you may have a problem.
I always tell my customers, I send them an email. I said, here's where you get the app for your iPhone. Here's where you get it for your Android. Load it on your phone. When I see you and the system's up and running, I'm going to help you log that app in so that I set it all up for you and walk them through the process.
Something as simple as that. I mean, think about it. People are spending 20, 30, 40, 100,000 on a solar system.
Yeah, on some of the big systems.
And this poor guy hasn't seen anything for the last 2 years.
And that's the thing that upsets us.
He doesn't even know if it works. So, and one of the easiest things I told him to do is go to the side of the inverter, look in the front, and if there's a red light at 12 noon, you got a problem, man.
You got a problem right away. Yeah.
So hopefully that'll work out for them, and we'll go out and see him soon. And I feel bad.
I feel bad because it's installations like that hurts the industry.
If he authentically was not informed, I feel bad.
Yeah.
But if he was, shame on him.
Yeah, because if you're informed and you're just not paying attention to it,
you got a car, right? You don't put gas in it. Guess what happens?
But the weird thing is whoever did that system, like you said, we get alerts, right?
Yeah.
That's a system completely down, period.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a major alert that somebody should be following up on.
Zero power created.
And what I normally do is, once you're installed, right, you don't, unless you hate me or don't like me, you're still gonna hear from me because
That's right.
I'm gonna check up in 30
How's
days.
it going, Mr.
I'm gonna
Jones?
check up in a quarter. I want to see in 6 months, a year, what's it doing. You're gonna have a true up a year out. I want to see where that's tracking to make sure everything's where it should be. But most people in most companies, I've worked for some of the largest, and they just don't do that. I always programmed in certain anniversaries and dates into my phone to make sure I'm giving people a call and checking on them. But that's a rarity, as we know.
That's good data for us, too.
Absolutely.
Because it tells us the validity of the inverter system.
You've got it.
It tells us the
it's our
the
metric.
Consistency of production within the solar world.
It's an important metric for us. So when I heard some arguments yesterday of different companies suggesting certain things, I'm like, yeah, but what they're suggesting was very much in the area of where certain systems had problems in, and they're still trying to tell you, oh, that's been corrected now. The stuff that we put out there just doesn't have a problem. I mean, we're tracking those metrics to know. Normally,
when a company says it's been corrected, I still like to wait a year.
Yeah, because really what they're saying is the first thing is they're admitting there was a problem.
Yeah, finally.
Right? And now it's being corrected in the next firmware update or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to see that run 6 to 12 months.
SMA a long time ago had a control board issue, and there was some whatever these little chips that we had to install in them. They got over that part, right? And then they became a rock of Gibraltar. Just solid year to year after. Yeah. And then you had the end-phase issue to where I think a house in San Diego caught on fire. I don't know if they were contributed to that, but, they were a part of it.
Yeah.
And then, the end-phase just blew up and something else happened to their microinverters. And it's a good inverter by any means.
They seem to be on their way back, and the IQ 7, or at least the IQ 8 that's coming out looks like it's correcting
something else
nicely. We've seen Solar Edge microinverters fail more than a lot of things should. Currently,
the 11.4 they say has some optimizer issues.
Yeah.
I think their issues are not in the inverter anymore. It can be in the optimizer depending on when they're created. So these are little interesting things that the inverter manufacturers are very aware of.
And
they're fixing these things.
And when you hear these concerns though from panel manufacturers,
it's
just not our observation. I mean, what we like to do is we're looking at what we put out there. Do we get service calls on it? And we know that there's certain mixtures, like for instance, a Solaria panel with an SMA, we just don't hear on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It works. Period.
I just can't wait to hear what happened with the Solar City / Tesla Walmart
They're-
/ houses back east.
They're trying
what
to blame a company that makes a certain connector.
A connector?
And
Seriously?
that company is saying it ain't us. So that's going to be an interesting thing just to see.
That's going to boil down to what inverter or panel not to use in the future.
And we know some of the
I hope it's not.
We know some of the panels that were on some of them. Not sure on the inverter or the connector. And they know that could come down to
what was it? Trina? Trina was one of
them, from what I heard. But you don't know if it's going to come down to
But
just negligence on the way it was installed.
Did you see the panel itself? It actually melted.
Yeah, but we don't know where the fire occurred. Was it the panel? Was it a connector? Was it an inverter?
That's going to be interesting, man, to see what comes out.
I still hear
in the end.
people. It's funny because when you hear people talk about like microinverters and, well, they're getting better. They're getting better. From what though? I mean, there's certain rules. We know when to use a microinverter. We know when to just use a string inverter with an optimizer. We know what we've seen the best reliability with, and so we just kind of lead with that experience. So we're going to put on your roof what we feel doesn't fault.
Yeah, and that's the way you got to go, right?
That's good for us. That's good for you. It's a real simple thing. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Our friend Daniel Guerrero over there at Point Financing.
Yeah.
Really good guy. I think he's down there in, San Diego region.
I think,
yeah, he's a really good guy, and he's part of the Point program. We also have our friend Victor Hunt, who's out in Nevada, part of the Point program. Yeah. And Daniel asked me a question on LinkedIn in reference to the finance companies, cash versus lease versus PPA versus Southern California Edison.
Right.
If you think about it, Edison's kind of a finance company. You don't pay, they cut you off, and then you got to pay back a 10% interest.
Yeah, a reconnection fee.
Right.
Yeah, in a way they are financing your electricity. Exactly.
It's the current solution that people have that don't have.
Right, exactly.
So just to answer Daniel's question, we're going to go into a little segment about some financing options.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I mean, we've kind of covered it here and there, but to just do it direct right now, I think
it'd be good.
It's worth it, yeah.
So if I had to put my finger on it, the best way I think that somebody should kind of put into play would be cash. That's just me. Yeah. If I had the money to do it, and you hear this all the time, if you had the money to buy a car, if you had the money to buy a house or whatever, why wouldn't you pay cash to do it, to take advantage of these opportunities?
Or even a loan to just own.
One and done, right?
Yeah.
One and done. So, again, if I had the opportunity, I would definitely pay cash. I mean, you can do it, and I'm not suggesting a home equity line of credit, because that's just another payback. And some of these HELOCs are kind of predatory. You got to watch out for them. Yeah. Because it could be interest only.
You have to.
Who wants that?
You have to look at that. Although, if you got the right one, the interest is always going to be lower than certain other types of loans.
The best way to do it, and this is what I mean by that, call some of your financing pros.
Right.
Get them out there. You've seen our website, right?
Yeah.
We have one of them that's over in QHIinc.com, and you go to the let me go there, actually. You go to QHIinc.com, and you go over to resources.
Right.
And we happen to put up this really cool part of our website. It says Friends of QHI. You'll see that we have our new friend that just came into the segment here, Pacific Realty Group. Pacific Realty Group can do a refinance on your home. So if you do have a little bit of equity, and you can take out enough money, maybe get a different interest rate, or maybe get down to a 15-year term.
Sure.
Hello? Right?
Yeah.
And then you can refinance, just pull out enough cash to get your solar system and be done with that issue.
Yeah.
So now you own your own power.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I'm a proponent for own. Here's where I kind of break it down. The 3 B's. Okay? Bad, better, best. Okay?
Right.
So bad is, for most people, that's sticking with your utility.
Which is the never-ending ROI.
Yeah, it's the never-ending. Your energy is
there is no ROI.
That IV drip plugged into your home, your arm, and you're never going to get away from that drug. And it's going to go up at 6-7% a year. And we know with Edison, they've got a nice kicker coming back in about 2021, where they're going to up everyone, including DCare, is going to get up to over $100 a year. Regular people, $170 a year, just kind of flat on top of anything else. So utilities for most people, 80, 85, 90% of people, is the bad. The better, I'm going to skip better for now, but better is something like a PPA. And I'll come back to that. Best is always going to be to own, because it gets you off that wheel, get you off that wheel where you're the hamster on the wheel just running around.
Yep.
You get to own your power. You're still going to have a small $10, $11, $12 connection fee, but you could, if you have enough roof space and we put the right equipment on your roof, you can wipe out the rest of that bill.
Absolutely.
And it's always better to own, because once you own that, okay, you're going to get tax credits. You got the 30% tax incentive, by the way, going away.
Yep.
You're going to lose 4% here in a couple months. So for anybody out there listening and trying to go solar with QHI,
get on the stick, man.
We are now, in the next couple weeks, taking our last orders to get installed this year.
Go, go, go.
So we've got to get it going. But the ownership is really good, because obviously you own it, you get the best tax advantages, and when you pay for it, the only thing you could have left is that connection fee, which is wonderful.
Yep.
You're off the wheel, right?
Off the hamster wheel.
Absolutely. But if I was there and I couldn't own it, and my only alternative other than owning was to stay with the utility, I would maybe consider a PPA.
Yeah, I would agree.
And the reason is I've got one example of a guy who he's still going to buy, but if we looked at the PPA, if we have someone that can't take advantage of the 30% tax incentive, they don't have the liability.
Could be an elderly couple.
Could be. They don't have enough income. They're not paying into the government enough to get that money back. Or for whatever reason, a purchase just doesn't make sense. I just ran an analysis on
Takes longer.
Yeah, and I ran an analysis on a guy with a PPA that basically, it was a 25-year PPA. His current bill averages $285 a month. Now, keep in mind that would go up 6-7% every year.
Sure.
Right? But he could literally start a PPA for almost $140 less a month.
It's like half.
And not get to $285 until year 25.
That's beautiful.
So, but if you take a look at $285 as an average, let me run this out, pulling out the calculator here. If we say $285, let's just go up at 6% a year, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
There's 25.
All right. So year 25 would be $285 goes to $695.
Ooh.
If he sticks with a 6% increase every year with the utility.
With the utility.
So which one
Which is
better?
the worst.
Yeah. So still better is obviously a PPA where it's going to take him 25 years to get back to his current payment. Still best is always going to be to own. And what we try to do here is
some of these PPAs, you can do a 0% escalator.
Yeah, so
which is kind of cool.
So there's three flavors typically. There's a zero escalator, which is going to start a little higher, but it's going to stay flat.
Right.
How I always recommended that, because a lot of the companies, even like when I was with SunPower and so forth, leases and PPAs were fairly popular.
Yep, I sold a lot of them.
Yeah, what I would always tell people is this: how long? It's a crystal ball question, but how long do you think you're going to be in the home?
Yep.
If you're going to be in the home for 20 years, take the flat.
Yeah.
Pay a little more now, but it's going to catch up easy. If you think you're selling the house within 10 years, take the escalator, because it's going to take about 10 years to catch it.
Right, exactly.
So
right.
why would you? And there's two different numbers as it comes to escalators. One's either a 1.9% a year or 2.9% a year. Both are less than the 6 to 7% you're going to pay with the
anything
utility.
over 2.9, run from.
Yeah, because it never should be higher than that. But
right.
but in a lot of cases, if you're going to stay in the house a while, flatten it out. But still, there's a lot of savings to be had there. Starting at 140 something instead of 285. That's
see what they do is they take that 30% ITC
exactly,
and they put it down as a kind of a down payment
right.
on your solar system,
right.
which significantly reduces the cost.
Yeah.
And then if you have a lower escalator or maybe
no escalator,
or no escalator,
mm-hmm.
it carries out for 25 years.
Yeah.
And then at that point you have the option to purchase.
Right.
You can purchase it in some cases.
Right.
Or you can just continue.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting power cheap, that's the key here, folks.
Yeah.
Buying power cheap so you don't have to get put in this worst scenario with your utility company. Just look at Edison. Those last two fires that just happened, I'm telling you right now, they can't wait to ding Edison or PG&E. And all they're going to do, besides threatening everybody with bankruptcy, they're going to keep raising their rates with these little rate hikes that go on all the time.
We were just talking about the other day that, you see the San Onofre decommissioning charge that's in there for everybody. Is there going to be a line item that just says fires? Right? Fires. It's going to be a line item one day. They might call it something else.
Fire evacuation system or something like that.
Natural disaster, but I mean, it is. And so the thing is, try to get away from that. The most expensive utility is the one that's consolidated and being shipped to you hundreds and thousands of miles away. It's the cheapest utility is on your roof.
Yeah.
It should be. I always tell people, even if it costs you the same right now to own, why not own it?
Exactly.
That's a no-brainer to me.
Yep.
If it can cost you any less to own it, why? And here's the other thing. We have incentives out there right now. Why not take advantage of the maximum incentive available? And it's trickling away. We're a few days away from November 1st. You got to January 1st. You got to be done and installed before then. So there's a lot of major brands out there that are in the kiosk places in stores. They're going to take 2 to 3 months to get you installed.
Easy, and you're not going to make it in time.
I'm not going to mention a name, but I happen to know right now that a buddy of mine who works at one of those big brand solar companies, they've taken 3 to 5 months on some of their installs.
Yeah, they're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it.
You're done.
We're still, this is the time of year where we really tighten up.
Yep.
We do have more people on the job to handle the installations, but I mean, we're still about 20 to 30 days on average.
Here's the interesting part. And the price of solar is going to go up next year. While you're losing out in the benefits, the cost of acquisition to go solar is going to go up, residentially and commercially speaking, because now it's a commodity.
Yeah, I think
Thank you, utility company, for raising your rates.
No, I love it. It's a good point, because I think a lot of people just think it's going to keep getting cheaper. Like the equipment will get cheaper, and that may certainly happen, but that doesn't mean it's passed along to the.
I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime.
Well, and I don't think that it gets always passed on to the customer, because as long as the utility keeps going up at 6-7% a year, solar doesn't have to go down in price.
Hello.
Because solar is getting more valuable by 6 to 7% every year.
Can you imagine that? Right.
So it's actually one of the things you could put on your house that appreciates in value. Not the car you just bought and drove in and everyone looks at it and goes, hey, that's a nice car you got there. No, that lost value the moment you drove off the lot.
Right.
This, a solar system, especially the right solar system, is going to appreciate in value every year, because it's offsetting more expensive
every single year. And as the energy goes up, its value keeps going up.
Exactly. And that's what people need to understand. They really do. So, I mean, you do have a bad, better, best situation. Bad for most people is the utility.
If you can't get away from the utility and you can't get a solar system, do the simple things. LED light augmentation. Sure. Mitigate the energy at the LED section, right?
Sure.
Start reducing the overall energy power usage.
Right.
And, that's about 10%.
Yeah, what you always say.
In your house.
We always say, reduce before you produce, right? Exactly.
New windows.
Yeah, something.
Get rid of those single pane aluminum frame windows that are cooking you in the summer and freezing you in the winter.
Improve the efficiency of the envelope of your property.
The envelope of the property, once that has been improved, and you can keep the heat and the coolness in the box that you stay in every single day, and the energy doesn't turn on, now you got success.
Yeah.
I did that to my house by doing all the LEDs. I changed out my carpet floors to laminate flooring. I changed out my windows. I took out my redwood patio that was falling apart every 5-6 years.
Right.
And I put an aluminum patio up that's insulated.
Yep.
And then I put life paint on the outside of my house.
Of the envelope.
That's right. Yeah. And then I put insulation in the attic space at R38.
Right.
That alone reduced my total energy consumption by 50+%.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's something that
now my solar system needs to be smaller.
Well, and that's one of the things that we always talk about, because we're also a general contractor. We look at everything that has to do with energy.
That's right.
It's just not, and at the end of the day, we'd like to put the smallest system on your roof that does the job. So sometimes it's marrying, a smaller system with some other efficiencies. That and all these things at the end of the day, they also improve the value of your house.
You know, the funny thing
Right.
is, I don't think the public knows this, but we will do a cursory evaluation of somebody's home, kind of walk in and kind of feel what's going on, look at their thermostat, look at everything,
Right.
and tell them what they need to do to start becoming energy efficient.
Right.
And guess what? That doesn't cost them a penny.
No, and it's just not like we don't necessarily have to go in there and just say, hey, this is what kind of solar system size you need. This is what you need if you don't do anything else. If we did some of these things, that could be smaller. But anything we do is going to save money and add value to your house.
Absolutely.
So that's a double win right there.
So if you have the worst case scenario and you can't do it for some reason, start by augmenting and mitigating the energy consumption by changing out your lights.
Yeah.
That's step one.
Right.
And then you kind of work on it from there, right?
Yeah.
So if you have to stay with the utility company, that's where I would suggest to start.
Yeah.
And it's a great start. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I got a quite cool whole house fan
Yeah.
that
they do
works.
wonders.
It sucks in that cold air in the evening and keeps my house cool throughout the day till about 3, 4 o'clock.
Right.
So the air conditioner doesn't have to cycle.
My brother has about a 34-panel solar system on his roof, but he also has a full house fan, and he uses that. And
Life's-
when he installs,
Life's good, right?
well, yeah, because it gives him more power from his solar to use for other things, other power. You know, he keeps his house like a refrigerator anyway. You can hang meat in his living room. But, I mean, the whole house fan, it's just one of those other things that I think what we do here is we're very holistic in how we look at your home.
That's right.
We look at everything that's a drain of energy and where it can be improved. And some people they don't want to deal with that. They just say, give me the number of panels I need.
Right, yeah.
And then if they improve anything down the road, they're just going to have more power, from the solar that they can use for other things. But
Well, I'm really happy that Title 24 is starting to implement the energy efficiency levels, which is great.
Right.
So we can not rely on the grid as much.
Right.
So that's really cool. They're putting a small solar system in place.
Yeah.
They're making some of these modifications.
yeah,
and
keep
stuff
right.
like that.
January 1,
Yep.
okay,
Title
2020.
24. Yeah.
Not only does the ITC, the investment tax credit, go down, okay, so get in before that, but also every home in California that's built new has to have some level of solar in it.
That's right.
So these are the shifts that are going to happen. And to me, my whole thing is it's always better to get in now while solar's kind of optional. If it starts to become mandatory, just imagine what the price is going to be.
You ever been to ResNet?
Yeah.
It's a great place that you can go to. It's RESNET. I think it's .com or org or something like that. Probably .net.
Yeah.
But once you go there, look what's going to happen in the future. Your house is going to be rated like a number. The higher the number,
Right.
the less energy efficient your house is. And they're starting to spread this word out by saying, don't buy a house that has a high number. So in the real estate market, realtors, loan people, I mean, all the title guys,
Right.
they all have to go to the HERS rating system.
Yeah.
And they're doing home inspections now
Yeah.
on houses to really get stuff to get fixed. And they're actually selling them according to their value based on their energy efficiency.
You've been preaching that for a long time. And what's really crazy is, as you know, we're working with a customer that has some commercial buildings, but they're also doing almost an 11,000 square foot home in Arcadia.
Oh, yeah.
And we happen to see just the plans and stamped. I've never seen it this
Stamped.
large. I'm talking about a stamp that's about 4 by 6, red border,
Huge.
red border, giant, almost Helvetica print that says HERS rating required.
That's right.
On all their plans. This
That's
is
right.
a new home going in, and that's a mandatory requirement for the city.
As big as this
So
house
it is going to become something that's required. And, as things become more mandatory, they become more expensive.
Yeah, and that just means that people, when they do make those choices and they make those purchases, you got to do it. Now, you'll have like a Carfax.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
You'll have like a Carfax on your home.
This home has not been in an accident. The frame is straight,
Right.
and it's very efficient or not efficient.
That's right.
Yeah, it is going to kind of come to that.
It's going to make people either be attracted to your house
Yeah.
or be very uninterested in your home.
So imagine you have a great HERS rating and you've got solar on the roof. How more attractive and valuable is your home?
Hey, my electric bill happens to be $10 a month.
Right.
How do you say no to that?
Because that goes back to what I told you, coming from commercial architecture and doing a lot of county and government buildings. It wasn't just the cost of the building, it was the cost of operation over time.
That's right.
So the cost of operating your home is really what your home costs. It's not the mortgage.
Yep.
It's your energy, it's your power, it's your water, it's your trash, it's your insurances. It's all those things is what that house costs you. And if you could lower, outside of the house itself, energy is probably one of the biggest bills for your home, right?
It's the largest bill of your entire
home.
home.
If you could reduce that or negate that or whatever, how great is that?
It becomes more comfortable. It comes home again.
Become your own utility.
Utility.
YOU, right? Become your own utility. It's less expensive than you think.
I want to give a special a shout out to Daniel over there at Point and Victor. I wanted to talk about their other program that you can get involved in. Mm-hmm. Again, we just talked about Edison. If you don't have a choice, stay there, but mitigate some of the energy consumption.
Right. Although I would argue PPA might be the choice.
Yeah,
if you can't
purchase, that's the next best thing.
Bad, better, best. That's in the middle, and we sold a lot of those, and we've helped a lot of people save money on that.
Absolutely. So we're okay with doing that, and under special circumstances, you can come to us. We can say, yeah, that's going to be the better choice for you.
Right.
In fact, you can come into the office and get a discount while we're doing it here.
We'll do it right in front of you, and one of our things is to find the best financial solution for you as well, because that's what it kind of comes down to.
Right then, right now.
Yeah,
we're going to show you.
Right.
So come on in and visit us over in Upland.
Yeah.
But anyways, and if you can, of course, get rid of that electric bill. The PPA is the next choice, and or pulling out a loan, refining. Go to our friends over there.
If you've got some value in your house, doing a refi that can get you down to even maybe to a better interest rate and cover the cost of your system, how beautiful is that?
That's the key. Pacific Realty Group can really help you out doing that. Yeah. And, they're not too far away. They're in Rancho.
And we have a number of solutions. At the end of the day, we have the equipment, we have the design. At the end of the day, it comes down to how we finance it.
So let's talk about Point really quick.
Okay.
Did you know that they just recently changed their plans as well?
No, not.
You can now get anything done to your house. I'm talking about windows, turf, solar system, life paint. You can even get a kitchen cabinet replacement if you got some bad cabinets and stuff like that. And the advantage of this whole thing is there's no prepayment penalties. There's no interest rate.
Right.
There's no money out of pocket.
Right.
And you can do it for 30 years.
Oh, they went to 30.
They just released this.
Oh, wow, because they had the 10-year, which was like a deferred payment for 10 years.
They had the deferred payment for 10 years. Wow. Now, the minimum amount to borrow is $50,000. It went up a little bit.
Okay, it used to be 35.
Right. But imagine, getting a solar system, getting that insulation, get those windows and pop in some new kitchen cabinets.
Right.
You're going to be around 50 anyways.
Right.
And then not make any payments, no interest. What they do is they share in the equity appreciation for the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Right. They take the portion of that depending on
and that's how you pay them back.
Yeah.
So Point is right on point.
Yeah, it's just another option, and we have a lot of them, and that's because at the end of the day, it comes down to what package fits you the best.
That's right. So if you don't have all those federal tax credit advantages and stuff like that, we know our PPA is going to be probably the best option for you. If you can pay cash and maybe do a refi or something like that may give you a better interest rate, put that as a first.
Yeah.
Refi your first or second and just have a new first with the solar on it, right? And see our friends over there, Pacific Realty Group, to help you out with that.
Right.
Thirdly, if you can't do anything, start mitigating the energy consumption by at least changing your LEDs out, maybe putting a whole house fan or do some insulation, re-insulation in your attic space.
Right.
That's going to help you out considerably. Those small, and they're not expensive.
No.
You can do those
and the good news,
and get by with it.
And the good news is we find that most people can do an ownership or PPA. The majority of people can do it. It's a very small group that just can't take advantage of it, but it's an easy call. You talk to us, and we can help you figure that out.
Last but not least, if you don't want to do anything, if you don't want to take advantage of anything, and if you just want to, I really don't care, see our friends at Point, man. Yeah. That's a great thing to do. So just got to go to our website, click on resources, click on financing, and they're like the second option down.
Yeah.
At least click on it and get some answers.
Yeah, I had somebody, I helped them kind of do a couple things in their home, and then they became a referrer. And every time they referred,
Isn't that a great feeling, man?
they made up to $1,000 per referral, $500 or $1,000. And guess what? That's how they ended up paying for their electricity bill with the utility.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that great?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's win-win for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully we've answered some of those questions. And again, your worst case scenario is the utility.
Yeah.
And that is if you can't take advantage of those other things that we talked about. Secondly is going to be your power purchase agreement, especially if you're older or you don't have the tax advantages to really sink your teeth into.
And that really does help people fix their payment, because when they get older, what do they have normally? A fixed income.
A fixed income.
So the last thing you want is a cost that continues to go up at a volatile rate and you don't know what it is.
That's
fix
scary.
that cost.
Yeah, that's scary.
Just fix that cost so you know you're always okay.
Absolutely. And best case scenario, if you can,
Own it.
Own the dang thing.
Absolutely.
Put that thing up on your roof. You would be blown away knowing that how simple insulation, a whole house fan, and light mitigation in your house, and a smaller solar system can do so much magic for your house.
Yeah.
That
and most companies out there, they don't know how to do all those things, but we do all those things. And a lot of big companies don't know how to handle a roof issue, and we handle the roof issue as well.
We just happen to be a part of that as well.
Yeah, so I mean,
isn't that a great feeling, man?
Yeah, it's much more of a holistic approach, and we help people, I think, in a bigger way.
I think that's why we get most of the opportunities that come to us, because we're not just selling them. Anybody can sell.
And we get a lot of people that come from the big brands that realize that wasn't the best deal, or they couldn't handle everything they needed, and they end up finding us.
So if you're in straight sales and you just want to mow, blow, and go, I want nothing to do with you. Yeah. If you're into helping people mitigate, and you want to do this, with a smarter approach, we'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not interested.
Yeah.
Anybody can sell, right?
Anybody can sell. And the point is,
my 6-year-old sells me every week.
Right?
Closes me.
So do my kids. They close me all the time. But it's really important. I've always told you I like sleep. So you gotta put out the right deal for people. If it's not right, we'll let you know.
Most importantly, do your best at all times, regardless if it hurts.
Yeah.
And be a good person.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the day, you sleep well, and you'll get more opportunity. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Hopefully that helps, Rob.
Hey, I want to drop a little kind of trailer for what's going to come
up.
Oh,
okay.
I know you have a financial one.
Mark Scholl from World Financial Group is coming in tomorrow. He's going to be episode number 33.
Perfect. Okay.
And I know we got a real estate one coming in, but you're talking about something else that's really, really good, and I want you to tell people about it.
Well, just give you kind of a lead in is we get a lot of
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so am I. We get a lot of questions on battery storage.
That's right.
And, what about the Tesla Powerwall? What about LG Chem? What about all these things? I think the jury is a little bit still out on it, because what we're looking at is a bit of a high cost and a low longevity.
That's right.
Okay. We're looking at systems at basically 420 amp breakers. You're going to be able to power a bit. It's just not quite there.
It's just not there yet.
And I've been telling people, lithium ion, the reason they're using so much of it is it's the only game in town that can reach the demands of today, but it's not the best game, and there is a game changer coming down the road.
And it's expensive.
It's expensive. So we're going to talk about a company that I want you to keep your eye out. In fact, we'll do this on that episode, so just a little teaser here. In fact, when this thing goes IPO, this would probably be
I want to have my money there.
This is going to be the game changer, I think. And basically what it is it's more based on a different type of battery, and it's more based on a liquid metal type idea. But what's really cool about it is that they're believing, at least their numbers show, 30 to 50% less costs. You got me there, right?
I'm ready to buy.
And double the longevity, 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
So right now what we have is
wow.
we're looking at $8, $10, $12 plus $1,000 for a battery with a 10-year warranty.
Which will probably need to be changed out around year 8.
It could.
It's going to start to fail.
Let's just even say it made it to 8 to 12 years, but somebody put it in a 20-year loan.
Oh, yeah.
That's what bothers me a bit. So, but here we're going to talk about something.
So it's not a true 20-year loan.
Well, what it is you're
O&M comes into place.
You're paying for your solar in that, which is
Yep.
great because
Yep.
that's, these panels are 30, 40-year panels, right? But you may still be paying on something that's becoming a bit obsolete, which is that
man.
battery, and I don't want to see people in that.
That
So
would
we've been
suck.
very reluctant to, if somebody needs a battery. Now, for commercial, you need batteries.
Yeah.
If you've got demand charges, you need batteries today, and we'll address that.
Yeah.
But what's coming down the road, they're looking at this one particular company we'll talk about, deliveries in 2022, massive deliveries in 2023, but up to 50% less cost and double the longevity. And that's going to be a major
20
game.
years.
20 plus
Holy
years.
jeez.
30 to 40, 30 to 50%.
And they're going to be
money.
less weight.
They're
They're going to be smaller in comparison.
and they go all the way up to giant, they look like
Utility based.
up to gigawatt size.
Oh, boy.
Per unit.
Oh boy.
So if they've
The
got
savior has finally reached us.
this, could be really cool because as you know, I'm working on a couple utility farms, and those power plants need big scale, but more. Can you imagine the cost effectiveness of dropping 30 to 50% less money and having twice the longevity?
That's beautiful.
And
man.
we can bring, if that gets to the house or how soon that gets to the house, it is a game changer. So
Rob, that's episode 35.
all right, sounds good.
So we'll get our act together and be able to release some of this news to you guys.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And who doesn't want to go 20 years for a third of the cost?
No, I mean, and that's the thing. That's something.
Sign me up. Where's my blue pen?
I've been talking for the past couple of years about, we are going to reach 30 to 50% less money at double the longevity. When we get there, we're going to recommend the heck out of it.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to start giving that opportunity.
And we'll still do for people that are maybe having brownouts or blackouts now. Battery might be useful for you in the home, and we can certainly consult you on that. For those that can be patient for the next couple of years, I think you're gonna save more and get more.
I still think get a Generac, but
no, I think that's really.
I'm getting beat up on LinkedIn for that, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? At the end of the,
knowledge is power, maybe.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we have to advise on what we think is the best solution at the right price as well.
It's all about pricing and longevity.
Yeah. For companies right now though, where they've gone solar or they're going solar and they still have a demand charge on a big building or a store or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, battery's just a necessity.
Yeah, you got to have it.
And
that's usually 40 to 50 to 55% of their entire electric bill.
If they're up to
which solar will not mitigate.
Right. If they're in GS2, it could be 40 to 50%. If they're in GS3, it looks
it's
like
actually
about 25.
better. Yeah,
it's like 25%. So
it flip flops.
Yeah,
I think the utility company did that because they felt sorry for him.
They give you some sort of a break because
they're murdering them on 200 kilowatt spike. They're killing people.
They're in GS3 paying $40,000 a month, so they give them a break on how much demand charge there is. Maybe.
I mean, some of these bills we've seen hasn't your jaw just dropped?
Yeah, I mean, we've got one individual out there that probably has 500 some odd panels on their roof. Their bill was $50,000, and they still have $15,000 a month with demand charge.
And that is not going to go away.
No, but if they do the batteries, we can address that.
Yes,
but look how much the solar actually did. It was tremendous. Look at that. It took 3/4 of the bill away. They had about 20-25% less left, and they can do that with batteries. So. But it's going to be exciting for commercial, too, when we can get a battery like this and save customers even more and say, hey, it's going to last even longer.
This is a great commercial and residential application coming up.
Yeah.
Again, it's on episode 35.
Yeah.
You want to hear about it? Got to wait.
Got to wait.
All right. All right, Rob. Thanks again, man. I appreciate you. If I don't see you, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Next up tomorrow is going to be Mark Scholl. Mm-hmm. He's the financial expert at World Financial Group. We're going to talk about how a residential solar system can help you make house payments and then some. Mark's got some other cool things that he's dealing with.
And part of that's going to be take advantage of that tax incentive that's still out there. So please remember, we got about a couple weeks before we're going to be taking our last orders to get installed by the end of the year. So
that's right.
Hit us up.
Coming at you. All right, buddy. Have a great day, Mark. Rob. Did I call you Mark?
You did.
Jeez, I'm getting Alzheimer's. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye.
The Energy Hour was brought to you by...
Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle, available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
You spend to ensure good health $100, $1,000, $1 million? For less than $100, you can get a 2-month supply of a VHE Superfood, the revolutionary new health supplement packed with everything you need to look great, feel great, and have renewed energy. Call 618-800-6670. A VHE Superfood, beyond organic. Go to realhealthforyou.com. Total Life Energy in powder, pill, or elixir. Your health. What's it worth to you? Call 618-800-6670 now.
Beauty, efficiency, and power. The only product we know in the solar industry is Solaria. Maximum power. For nearly 25 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Maximum power. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Maximum power. What really defines home solar? How about Solaria? Quality you can trust for your home or business. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Where do you get this panel for your home or business? Go to QHIinc.com. That's QHIINC.com/Solaria. SOLARIA.
Latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to QHIinc.com/TEO. That's QHIINC.com/TEO.